Good morning class 10, this is Sachin Kumar and today we will learn about the chapter 6 from NCERT Science. Name of the chapter is Life Processes. In this chapter we will discuss about the life and the processes which is carried out by living organism. First we need to understand what is life or how the living organism different from non-living things. Living organisms are engaged in certain processes or activities. These processes are respiration, where it takes oxygen from its surrounding and use it to burn their food and to produce energy, and during this process they produce carbon dioxide. Digestion, they digest the complex substances and make it simplest so that it can be absorbed or used by the living organism. They reproduce, they generate, they produce new generation, they produce their own offsprings. They move from the one location to another. They grow in size, such as we have grown from the toddler to the adolescent or adulthood. Response, they respond to the stimulus coming from the surrounding. Example of this living organism are the deer, lion and bear. All this organism and even us as a human also engage in all this activity. Therefore, we are called the living organism. On the other hand, non-living things may be engaged in one, two or three activities, but not in all these activities. Therefore, they are called the non-living things. Example of non-living things are pencil, glass and metro train or bullet train. This bullet train move, but it does not reproduce. Therefore, it is non-living. But now question rise, how the living organism maintain or carried out all these activities, all these processes, all this function. This is the main question. What are the basic ingredients that is needed by them to carry out all these processes? Answer is energy. Energy is the most important thing, and it is required by all the things, all the living organisms to maintain their processes and functions. But how do living organisms get this energy, and from where they get this energy? This is the simple question. We observe that most of the living organisms get energy by eating the other organism or life forms. So then simple question rise, do all living organisms eat other organisms, or there are certain organisms which produce food by its own? The answer is yes. There is a certain organism which get energy directly from the sun. So it can be concluded from here that all living life form, all living organisms can be classified or can be grouped into two major groups. One which make their foods and other which eat other organism. Our example of one group is known as autotrophs, because they make their own food from sunlight or solar energy. On the other hand, the other group which cannot make their own food and obtain their food usually by eating the other organism are called the heterotrophs. And how these autotrophs make their food? They make their food by the process name is the photosynthesis. And this example of this autotrophs are the plant and certain bacteria or some bacteria, and heterotrophs are known as the herbivorous, carnivorous and other. Example are the animals, fungus, most bacteria and protozoa, plant and some bacteria are the autotrophs. On the other hand, lion is a heterotrophs, giraffe also heterotrophs because they are animal. Fungus is heterotrophs, protozoa they are also heterotrophs, and bacteria, most of the bacteria are heterotrophs, but some bacteria are autotrophics. But how does autotroph make their own food? What are the processes that make plant possible to make their own food? The name of the process is photosynthesis. But what is photosynthesis? Photo means light and synthesis making. The making of food in the presence of the sunlight is called the photosynthesis. All the plant make their food by using the solar energy coming from the sun to make their own food. The sun is a major and most important factor in all these processes. So, definition is simple here. It is a process by which plant make their own food by using the carbon dioxide and water taken from its surrounding, solar energy coming from the sun, and chlorophyll pigment present in plant. They use four most important ingredient to make their food: first carbon dioxide and water, solar energy, and the chlorophyll pigment that is present in the plants. This all together make plant possible to make their own food. And this is a simple picture that is depicting, that is showing how plant is making their food. And this same picture can be written as in a chemical equation, as we have discussed in the earlier chapter in the class 10. This is the simple: 6 carbon dioxide molecules are taken, 6 carbon dioxide molecules and 6 water molecules are taken by the plant in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, that is converted into the glucose and oxygen. This is the all process of photosynthesis which is carried out by the plants. Now question arises, in what part of the plant this photosynthesis is being carried out? Answer is, in most of the plant this process is carried out in leaves. But where in leaves? Where is this chlorophyll pigment present in leaves of plant? Let us see. This is a cross section of plant leaves. You can see there is epidermis, and in between this epidermis there is a cells. These cells have chloroplast, and in this chloroplast the chlorophyll pigment is present, which capture the solar energy and help in converting the solar energy into the chemical energy. This is a simple picture. You have to remember this picture because question is being asked about making a diagram of cross section of leaves. Okay, this is the chloroplast is the main in this picture. For now, epidermis is main and stomata. You can see there is a in the lower section, lower epidermis, you can see there is a stomata, a stoma, a pore is written. This is also important, and we will discuss how this is important for plant. How does the plant take carbon dioxide? The second question, the main question is rising after discussing the photosynthesis, that how does plant take carbon dioxide from atmosphere, because carbon dioxide is being used by the plant for synthesis of food. Answer is through stomata. What is stomata then? You can see this picture. This is an enlarged picture of a leaves. You can see there is a certain pores on the surface of the leaf, and these pores are called the stomata. Plant leaf have numerous tiny pores on its surface. These tiny pores are called stomata. All okay. Now, what is the role of the stomata? What role does it play in the plant? It helps in exchange of gases between itself and its surrounding. It regulates the transpiration process. What is transpiration? The loss of water in the form of the water vapor is called the transpiration. This is the two main function that is carried out by the stomata, and stomata control these processes also. This is the picture of a stomata. You can see there is a stomata is open, means pore is open, but in the second picture stomata is closed. But how this stomata is closed and how it is opened, this process is carried out by the guard cell. You can say this pore is surrounded by the two guard cell, and this guard cell are the main which function to opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, so what are the role of guard cell? Guard cell control both transpiration and exchange of gases. This is a true process which is carried out by the guard cell in stomata. How do heterotrophs obtain their food? Now question is simple. Plant make their food, but how do heterotrophs obtain their food? Then heterotrophs are those organisms by definition which eat other organisms. Some of the organisms are only eat plants and grasses. Therefore, they are called herbivorous. Example are a deer, cow. Now, there are certain organisms that eat only animals, and these organisms are called carnivorous. Simple example is lion. Now, there is an organism which can eat both plant and animal. This organism are called omnivorous. Example bear. It eats fishes. It is sometimes grasses. Saprotrophs, they eat on dead and decaying matter. They are called the saprotrophs. Example fungus. Parasites are those organisms which take nutrition from the living organism but without killing them. Okay, an example is parasite in plant. This is amarbale, cascata, tick in animal, and leeches is also in animal. So here we have understood that heterotrophs can also be classified, can also be grouped in certain major groups such as herbivorous, eat only plants, carnivorous, eat only animals, omnivorous, eat both animal and plants, saprotrophs, eat dead and decaying matter, parasite, take nutrition from the other organism without killing their host. So this is important. Now we learn about the digestion. First, we need to understand one thing: what are the component of food that we take? The major component of the foods are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, etc. Which does body need? But what does body need and what can body absorb in this food? Body cannot absorb carbon dioxide, protein, fat, vitamins. It can absorb only the glucose, amino acid, fatty acid and glycerol. Therefore, it is necessary to convert this component into the simplest form. Let's clear it again. These are complex substances. Whatever food we eat, it is having the complex substances such as carbohydrate, protein, fats, but we cannot absorb it, so we can't use it. But on the other hand, simpler substances are there which make these complex substances such as glucose, fructose. This glucose and fructose and etc. make the carbohydrate, amino acids which make proteins, fatty acid and glycerol combine together and form fat. we can absorb it and use it, but it is not in food in simplest form. Therefore, what we need? We need digestion. We need to break complex substances, carbohydrate, protein, fat, etc. into the simplest form of the substances such as glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol respectively. Means the breakdown of the complex substances into the simplest form so that it can be absorbed by the body is known as digestion. Okay. The digestion is complex to simplest substance, carbohydrate to glucose, protein to amino acid, fat to fatty acid is called as digestion. Now, discuss about the digestion in humans. This is the picture of human digestive system, where you can see there is a certain part in our digestive system or alimentary canal. One is the mouth, teeth, tongue, and etc. Our digestive system have alimentary canal which begin from the mouth and extend to the anus. This alimentary canal is a place where digestion of complex substances such as carbohydrate, protein and fats are carried out, and after digestion the product is eaten up or absorbed up. Okay. This is a picture, you can see how this digestion is carried out and how the things is excreted, undigested food is excreted. Part of the alimentary canals are the buccal cavity, the mouth, esophagus, the pipe which connect mouth and stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and before them are the stomach, and finally the anus. What are the organs associated with the alimentary canal and that also help in the digestion are liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. These are the organisms which are associated with alimentary canal and used and they secrete certain things which help in the digestion. All the digestion of the food take place in the canal, means alimentary canal, we have already discussed it. Absorption takes place in intestines, that is also absorption, and the digestion is also carried out in the intestines. Small intestines is the place where absorption of nutrients are taken out. After this, let's discuss other part thoroughly. In mouth there is a teeth which is used to crush and chop and cut. There is a muscular tongue which help to move the foods in one place to other place, means according to their needs. A amylase enzyme is secreted by the salivary gland in the mouth, which help in digestion of the carbohydrate, but the digestion is not complete here, so the food move to the next stage with the help of the esophagus. Long tube. What is esophagus? Esophagus is long tube that connect the buccal cavity to the stomach, and because of the peristaltic movement, the food move from mouth to the stomach along with the gravity as a factor. Stomach, and next is stomach. What is stomach? Stomach is a muscular sac where the food is stored and mixed with the digestive enzyme and acid secreted by the wall of the stomach. Stomach is nothing but the muscular sac which is used to store the food and also in digestion of the food. And digestion is carried out by the digestive enzyme. What is enzyme? Enzyme is the natural catalyst that fasten the process of digestion. Okay. The stomach secrete the mucus. Why? Because the mucus is something that prohibit the acid secreted by the stomach to damage the stomach walls. Or we know that certain people in our surrounding are affected with the acidity. What are the reason of acidity? When the excess amount of acid is released in stomach, it causes acidity, and acidity is nothing means excess acid means excess damage to the stomach walls, and therefore we feel burning in. Now the liver. Now we learn about the other organs associated with the digestive system. Liver is large gland. It is a brown in color. It releases the bile juice, and this bile juice help in digestion of the fat by emulsifying it. Emulsifying means as the soap work. Bile juice is stored temporarily in gallbladder. Other organ known as the gallbladder is associated with the liver, and this is the place where the bile juice is stored for temporary purposes. Temporarily, unless the as long as it does not release the bile juice, as long as there is no food. Okay. Now the pancreas is also pancreas is known as a mixed gland because it releases both hormones and the digestive juice, means its function it function in digestion of the food and also the hormone secretion. Therefore, it is called the it is called a gland. A gland, what is gland? Gland secretes something. The organ, or tissue or cells which secrete something is called the gland. Pancreatic juice help in digestion of protein, carbohydrate and fats. Pancreatic juice which is secreted by the pancreas, and this is secreted into the intestine, and this pancreatic juice is help in digestion of the protein, fats and carbohydrate, and its pancreatic juice also turn the acidic food coming from the stomach into the alkaline. Okay. This is very two important function. First is the alkaline food convert करता है, second is pancreatic juice जो digestion में काम करता है, and third is mixed gland is the important thing about the pancreas. Now learn about the small intestines. Small intestines what and large intestine. How the small intestine are different from the large intestine. Diameter of small intestine is small, is less, but in large intestine diameter is more. It is the longest part of alimentary canal. A small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. You can see it is almost 10 meter, and second large intestine is the second largest part of the alimentary canal in length. The complete digestion of food takes place in it. Okay. No activity of digestion take place in it by large intestine. Absorption is also carried out in small intestine, and the absorption of glucose, amino acid, fats are carried out in small intestine with the help of villi. What is villi? We will learn about it. Absorption of water and salt take place in it. In large intestine, only the absorption of water and salt take place. Okay. Remember these differences. This will help you in your exam and understand the process of digestion. Now learn about the what is villi. Villi is nothing. The inner wall of the intestines is having certain finger-like projection, and this finger-like projection is called the villi. Okay. So this chapter is first part of this chapter is finished. We will discuss other part in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.